Hi, I'm Tom Crosby. Thank you for buying 8-Bit Coin Magic with Tom Crosby. It's me. I'm going to teach you 4 things that involve throwing coins all over the place. So grab a coin, let's get going. So this is the Striking production. It's based on a move by David Williamson, first published in the Collector's Almanac, Volume 1, page 11, published in 1983. And a move by Tom Stone called Gap Drive, which is a fantastic move. I believe it's most readily available in Vortex, although I think it was first published in Warpsmith. A great book. If you can find any of Tom Stone's stuff, it's absolutely fantastic. So let's get into it. So the basics of the move is using the Gap Drive move. Gap Drive is pinching the coin from the back of the middle finger, pinched with the first and ring finger, and it's like you're trying to bend the coin. You're pushing really hard with the middle finger and pulling down with these two. And you're going to release with this finger. The ring finger is going to move out of the way, and the coin is going to spin this way. It's going to be fired kind of at this weird awkward angle that will be covered when we hold the pen in a moment. You're going to squeeze it, the coin is going to shoot, and you can catch it. It will go off at a really weird angle to begin with, so don't expect to catch it first time, but shoot it up and catch the coin. Then using the pen as wand cover, show both hands, both sides of the hand empty. You're going to squeeze and pop the coin straight out. I'll do this and try and show you the best angle we can. You're going to squeeze, and it will shoot forwards and catch it in this hand. The catch is the hard part, trying to time it just right. It's still much easier than muscle pass. When holding the pen, you're justifying these two hands being fairly close together. So you can show both sides of the hand. You squeeze and release as you close this hand. And it needs to be done at the same time so that you'll catch it. Because otherwise, your reactions will not be quick enough. So you're going to squeeze and catch the coin. It's a really quick little move, and so much easier than the muscle pass. You will learn this in next to no time at all. You're going to squeeze it. So the nice thing about the pen is it will catch the light, so any flicker of light that the coin catches will be put down to being the pen. Just makes things a lot easier, and means that no one's going to call you on it, hopefully. Show both sides of the hand, squeeze, and catch. When you get this right, it really can look like a camera trick. So just a few more things to pick up on the striking production. First of all, it needs to happen very, very quickly. And you can achieve that by squeezing the coin harder and harder. It shouldn't hurt. Like it's not like a muscle pass. You shouldn't have to go through that pain barrier to get it to work. It will work straight away. But the key is all in the speed. The faster you can do it, the better it will look. The pen is there as cover. Not only cover the visuals of the coin. If they see the coin between the hands, they will put it down to being the pen. But it's also there covering the weird hand position that you're holding this coin in the slightly unnatural sort of grip. But yeah, that's the Striking production, like I say, based on David Williamson and Tom Stone. It's pretty cool, try it out. Let's go on to something else. This is the hibernation change. I call it that because you're putting the coin to bed for a moment. It's based on a move by Ponta the Smith. It's really cool, dead easy. Let's get into it. So the hibernation changes, like I say, it's based on a Ponta the Smith move. A lot of people are going to be put off by this because it does use sleeving. I feel it's best to sleeve in a shirt just because people assume you're not going to be sleeving it. You can use a jacket, by all means. It's a lot easier, for one, a lot more consistent, but if someone calls you out on it, it is up your sleeve. So the move itself, the coin starts off here, gripped between the first and second finger. Hold it about there between the knuckles. That just works for me. So in a moment you can push the coin up. I use a Chinese coin, use whatever you want. You can also use this as a switch for a gimmicked coin. Pinch the coin, flick it up with the thumb, and that's the production. That is the first half of the first half of the change. It's there, push it up, so it comes out into view. The second coin is going to go straight up the sleeve. It's simple as that. You are throwing the coin up the sleeve. That's all that's happening. But there are a couple of tricks to it that make it a little bit easier. Throwing the coin flat, straight up the sleeve, so it goes straight down. That way, even with a really narrow sleeve, it's riding along your wrist. So the first coin is at the fingertips, resting there. The second coin is ready to be brought out into view. And you're just going to throw it straight up the sleeve, riding along the wrist, while you produce the coin. It is knacky, but trust me, with a bit of practice, you'll get it consistent every time. So this is the Corny Fuji Vanish. It's based on Akira Fuji's Click Pass and John Cornelius's Muscle Pass. We are going to have to learn the Muscle Pass, but trust me, it's well worth the effort. So here are the basics on the Corny Fuji Vanish. Now we do need to learn a Muscle Pass, but it's easier than you'd think. With a bit of practice, you'll get there in no time. Find a fairly sizable coin. I use a $50, but if you're in the States, I would recommend learning with a dollar size coin. In the UK, dollar or a £5 coin, they're usually a good size, because that way, if you can get some height with a really heavy coin, you'll pick up a regular size coin and it will fly. So it's all about the pressure. So the trick to this is you're going to squeeze the coin in such a way that it will just jump out of your hand, like squeezing soap in the shower. It will just shoot out. So you want to squeeze it almost in classic palm position. You're holding it a little bit over to the side, so it's going to be squeezed just there. Don't worry about pressing it into place with this hand for now. We'll cover that later. But you're going to squeeze onto the coin, and it will pop. You will feel a pop, and it needs to pop off of this side, so it's going to flip that way. Now, for the first 1,000 or so times that you do it, it will just pop, and it will just pop off like that. Then eventually, it will start to flip over, like that. Then about 10,000 times of doing this, eventually you'll start to get little red marks. You can see them forming here from where we've been filming. But it'll start to get a little bit sore, and then it'll eventually start to blister if you do it for long enough. Then eventually the blisters will pop, your hands will start to bleed, and your friends will turn to you and go, "Tom, you should stop." And you go, "Yeah, that's probably for the best," and you cry for a week, and then your hands heal, and then eventually you can do that. It's true. It will start to hurt eventually if you do it too much, but it's more about the position. I've seen people do it on the first try and get it to fly, but eventually it will jump and it will flip over, and the more you do it, the more height you'll get, until eventually, the best I've ever seen is Jeff Kahler. If you get to see Jeff Kahler do this, he can get it a good 1.5 foot. It's fantastic. But the real trick to this is persistence and position. So if it's not working straight away, if you can't get it to pop, try playing about with position. Find someone that can do it. That's probably a good way to do it, and that they can talk you through position. A great source for this is Jay Noblezada's DVD. He has some great routines, some great effects with it. But don't think that by getting more tutorials you'll learn it any quicker. It is a persistence thing. But I recommend Jay Noblezada's perfectly. So you're going to squeeze it, and it will eventually start to pop. One thing you see a lot of people do is throwing the coin, so like throwing the hand up as they do it, which to the spectator just looks like you're throwing it. I mean, you can just present it as the coin that falls up. That's how it was originally published by John Cornelius, and it was wonderful. But yeah, I feel like there are more subtle ways we can use it. A good way to avoid throwing the coin is to pin your hand to the table and just stop it from moving. It's a good little trick. Also, a friend of mine, Lawrence Turner, suggests putting some rubber bands around the back of your hand, so like holding the back of your thumb, holding it from your little finger to your thumb, and that sort of just helps train up that muscle, and it really does make a difference. You will find after doing this for a while, this muscle here is surprisingly strong. But yeah, that's the basics of the muscle pass. Give it a go. Stick with it for a couple of weeks. If you're not seeing any improvement, I mean, don't give up. So let's get into the Vanish itself. First of all, it's based on it's based on an Akira Fuji click pass that we'll talk about in a second. But you do need to be able to do a false transfer. So just the very basic is keeping the coin in finger palm. That is holding it as loosely as you can between these fingers here. I have quite small hands, so I use 2 fingers, but whatever works for you. Then you're going to hold on to it while closing this hand up. So just making it look like you're putting it into this hand when really you're holding on to it. Couldn't be easier. But you're going to do the first half of that Vanish with another coin in this hand already, so I'll show you what I mean. So the first coin goes in here. You're going to push it into muscle pass position, so ready to muscle pass it, while you pick up this coin and put it into finger palm. It seems like a lot's going on, but trust me, it's second nature once you get both of these moves down. And then you're going to pretend to drop it in, but instead of, you're not just going to not let this coin fall, you're going to catch this coin as it falls up. So you're here, yeah. So you're going to muscle pass and catch the coin. Now in an ideal world you want to be catching it with these 2 fingers here, the ring little finger. It's not essential, just for the little hand movement you get from just those fingers. It's ideal but not essential. So first coin goes in, second coin comes over the finger palm, this coin gets muscle passed up and is caught, really awkward angle to do it from, but you go, catching it with those 2 fingers there. So really you're after the click. You're after the click of the 2 coins contacting each other. If you just do it and you don't catch the coin, you've just done an Akira Fuji click pass, which again is what this move is entirely based on. I highly recommend most of Akira's work, it's incredible. So let's talk about a quick variation with 3 coins. You can also kind of use this for 4 coins, but you'll see what we mean. So first of all, 1 coin goes in, second coin goes in, and the third coin goes in. And that's all 3 coins. Method-wise it works very much the same, just what a lot of people don't realise is you can muscle pass 2 coins at once. With 2 coins in muscle pass position they will both fly. So you can quite easily apply this to the Vanish. So 2 coins go in and then the third coin comes over. And there you go, 3 coin Vanish. So, next up we have the Tom Crosby coin in card box mystery. Sure, let's call it that. It's quite knacky, it's quite difficult to get the hang of, but it's really cool when you can nail it, so let's get going. Let's get going. Let's do something, let's just teach it. So here's the explanation for the Tom Crosby coin in box mystery solved gold edition on ice. I don't know. So again, it uses a muscle pass and it is very knacky to get the hang of, but it's still very doable. It starts off with a Spider Vanish. The Spider Vanish is published by Ed Marlowe. It was published in 1957, I think, in his Coining Magic. It's very much leading them down the garden path. So how normally you do a French drop Vanish, this is the opposite of a French drop Vanish, the way you're taking the coin, putting it straight into classic palm position, and then showing this hand as empty. I push it straight into muscle pass position because that's how we're going to do the move in a second. So it gets picked up, straight into muscle pass, throw it as if you're showing this hand empty, show this hand empty. Now the trick to it is you're going to muscle pass the coin into this slot in the box. If you thought throwing a coin up your sleeve was difficult, try this. It's certainly knacky, but the coin is just going to shoot straight into the box. One quick tip is to squeeze the box. The more you squeeze it, the more of an opening you'll have. But you need to work out, because the coin is sort of moving like this, it's spinning in midair when you're doing the muscle pass. You need to work out how far away you need to be when the coin will be horizontal, when it'll be flat. So it'll just go straight in. For me, it's about that far, apparently, but find out what works for you, play about with it. But it really is, it's a knacky move, but it's really cool when you can get it consistent. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for buying this download. I hope you got something from it. There's certainly 4 really fun things you can take away and practice and play with. Hopefully catch out a few magicians with them as well. So, have fun. See you in the next one.